Sunday fun day. Detroit Lions getting ready to take on the Chicago Bears in little less than 10 minutes. So I wanted to jump on here. First of all, I want to show you guys the background I was working on today and yesterday as well. So we got a couple of the books that I've read. We got Barry in the back, our lion, our mascot. And then we got a whiteboard. I'll put a few, probably some quotes, probably some funny messages or comedic lines, things like that. And on days like today, Sunday, I think we should be going all in on the Detroit Lions minus 7.5. I think I have a plus here. Yeah, minus 7.5 against the Bears. I know the Bears they stopped the run pretty well, but they haven't played a run game. They haven't played a team like Detroit Lions really all season. They did play Kansas City. I think they played another team that can run the ball well, like the Chargers. Eckler, he didn't really do too much on the ground, but a big, stout defensive line like Chicago has, I think Detroit Lions offensive line will be able to handle them easily. And Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery going back to play Chicago, he should probably have a good game today. So I like Detroit minus 7.5 today to cover that spread and win by probably. I'm thinking probably at least 10 points. So probably win this game by. But I did want to give you guys a look ahead of what's going on as far as my podcast and my live show, All in Society and Friends. So if you're not familiar, this is the first time you've seen me. My name is CP2, Claude, and I have a background in the casino industry, specifically in poker. And so All in Society and Friends, because I have a background in poker, I'll be interviewing poker players and also individuals that I'll meet at the poker room or any poker room. And that goes for anybody. All walks of life play poker. So what I'm really trying to do with my show and my podcast is grow the game of poker as I go around and I play poker tournaments and go to casinos, and I'll definitely be traveling a lot more than I'm accustomed to in the past. I'll meet some individuals at the tables and we'll link up with them. We'll interview them. Hopefully, they'll be able to give us some insight, whatever they're experts in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be poker. Business owners, entrepreneurs, actors, writers, all walks of life play poker. So, like I said, it's a great way to grow the game of poker, which I definitely think poker is kind of plateaued right now. I think a great way to do that is to grow the game is getting more women involved. And and I know there's a lot of challenges in doing that, but hopefully I can be one person to kind of steer that going forward and provide a either teach women to play the game or at least provide some type of comfortable environment that they feel comfortable coming to play. So definitely stay tuned for that. I've started my business, Suited Solutions Group, LLC. So, and my goal is to really use my expertise, my experience in the poker industry, and really tie that into financial markets and also health, mold that all to one big package and really do some good and solve some problems and help some people out along the way. One thing that I'm really focused on in the black and brown communities, we really don't have a lot of experience in financial literacy. So that's really something that I'm really after, and it's whether I'll be providing value and insights and things that help me in my life, or bring on experts in a financial area in order to bring them on and give us insights and tips and tricks in order to be better and be better investors and just not just people that save our money. Saving is good, right? It's good to have money on deck just in case, but saving is not going to get us ahead. And as time goes on, it just seems like things like Social Security might not be there when it's time for me to take advantage of those things. So I want us to really get involved in managing our own money and investing and not just saving. And with that being said, I will be doing some traveling for the holidays to see my family. Much needed time to see my family. So I've really dug deep and provided some what I believe is some awesome content It's entertaining and also educational and provides value for you guys. So Monday the 20th, so tomorrow, it's basically an expert or a short clip of a full version that I'll be releasing on Tuesday in All in Society and Friends, and I'll touch on more about that. But this is just the podcast version, the audio version of a conversation I had with two poker pros, Laura Eisenberg and Yasser El Khalidar. Laura and Yasser are both in the top 25 in their state. I believe Laura's in the top 25 of Virginia, or excuse me, Maryland, and Yasser is in the top 25 in the state of Virginia. I could have had that flip flop, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. And the way that this information is compiled, essentially, anytime anyone plays a poker tournament or a large poker tournament, that venue or that casino will send those results, or however you did in that tournament, they'll send it to this online database, and it's called Hendon Mob, and it's a website you can go to, and essentially it's every poker player's resume of how they've placed, pretty much throughout their whole career or their poker career as far as poker tournaments. So you can go there and see how much money people have made, how they've placed in certain venues, and really it's kind of like a report card or your resume, your poker resume. And like I said, Yasser and Laura are in the top 25 of every poker player that has played in that state that they reside in. They're in the top 25. So the best players in their state, and they're some of the best players in the country, to be quite honest. And I'm lucky enough to have a conversation with not one, but two of them. Yasser and I had a conversation on episode 1 of All in Society and Friends, and he brought Laura on for an episode where we talked about women in poker, strategy tips and tricks, and just their life on and, of course, off the poker table as well. So it's definitely a conversation that if you're a fan of poker, you'll definitely want to tune in. But also, if you're not a fan of poker, but you're also interested just to understand somebody that lives this type of lifestyle, how they go about it, it's very interesting conversation. I learned a lot myself as a poker player, as a poker fan, and someone just admired them as afar. So definitely check out Monday. It'll be the podcast All in Society. It's on all major podcast networks. All in Society with Claude Winston. You can go on your all major podcast networks. Just search for it, follow the show, and please download all the episodes. I think there's at least 65, 70 episodes at this point now. I release an episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you tap in, make sure you download the episodes. And that episode will be airing on Monday. Like I said, it's not the full version, it's just a clip, just a little teaser for you guys on Monday. So make sure you follow the show, make sure you leave a review, like and share with your friends and family, and let me know how it was. On Tuesday in All in Society and Friends, that's where I'll be releasing the full version of the entire conversation between Laura and Yasser and All in Society and Friends. So make sure you go on YouTube. So super simple. Just search All in Society and Friends. Subscribe to the show. Make sure you click the notifications so you're aware. But every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a live show. And I'll bring on poker players, or like I said, anybody who I've came in contact with at a poker table or sometimes off a poker table. I've been going to a lot of financial literacy conventions and networking with those individuals, and I plan on having conversations with them as well. So like I said, it's not just a show about poker. This is a show about business, finance, and health, and trending topics, hot topics that you guys should be familiar. I know a lot of times you don't have time to come home and watch the news and figure out what's going on locally or throughout the world. That's why you can come here for this show. I have it all condensed, and I bring you the hottest topics, the most important topics in finance and business, and like I said, in general in the world that's going on that might impact you and your family's lives. So come tap in with me. It's a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun, a lot more laid back, and you can engage. Come join me in the chat. Last couple weeks has been a lot of engagement, a lot of my friends and family jumping in the chat, just having a good time, a lot of good laughs. So I appreciate it, and I'd hope to see you there as well. All in Society and Friends live on YouTube with Laura and Yasser on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'll also be releasing a previous version of All in Society and Friends. So make sure you check that out on the podcast. Friday, Friday the 24th. So, like I said, we have a jam packed week of content. On the podcast, Ryan Jones, another stud, another professional poker player, excuse me. Ryan is number 14th. He's ranked number 14th in the state of North Carolina. Ryan has won not one, but two. He's won it two times. World Series of Poker is it's owned by Caesars Entertainment, and they travel to different venues, typically Caesars properties, and they host events. Very popular. There's World Series of Poker. There's World Poker Tour. There's Mid-States Poker Tour. There's multiple poker tours, kind of like your traveling circus that travel around to different states, different communities, different cities, and they hold events. And so poker players travel throughout the country and play at these events. Sometimes they'll just wait for the one to come close to them. And sometimes a lot of professionals will travel to different venues and play against some of the best players in their respective area. And so Ryan, he has won the championship event. It's a $1,700 tournament. Yes, costs $1,700 to enter. And he's won it not once, not twice. Or excuse me, not once, but twice at Cherokee, North Carolina. Herrica's Cherokee, North Carolina. He's won that event twice for over $500,000 combined. So he's definitely somebody I really enjoyed tapping in with and having a conversation with. My recent trip this past summer to Las Vegas, we actually played a tournament together at the Aria. And so we linked up there. Last time I've seen him is when I was traveling as a dealer and I was dealing these events. And so he saw me at a table. We played briefly at a table together. He said, "Hey, you look very familiar." So we got talking, exchanged information, and I was able to interview him. So I really appreciate him taking the time to do that. It's an awesome interview. It's on the podcast, but he did say in the podcast in the future we'd love to come on for a full interview on the YouTube show. So look forward to that, but definitely tap in. It's an awesome interview. He gives us tips and tricks, just like Laura and Yasser, and just also talked about his personal journey and what he likes to do off the felt. He's a photographer. So if you're a photographer, if you're interested in that, take a look, take a gander, download that episode. And then on Monday the 27th, just kind of have a thank you episode. But this episode it's a little bit different than the other podcasts because we finally have intro music. I have intro music and outro music. So now I'm starting to add those elements in. Before, I'm really was worried about getting you guys like what exactly I want this show to be, and really starting this show, and what I wanted the podcast to be. So now I'm really getting it together. As you can see, the visuals, we're getting those things going. So Barry will be here pretty much throughout the whole football season. After the football season's over with, hopefully we'll be able to keep him here because the Detroit Lions won the Super Bowl, and we'll just keep him year-round till next season. But if not, we'll probably switch them out. We'll get some anime characters in there. We'll do something. We'll have fun. I'll put some nice messages on the whiteboard. And of course, we'll probably change the books. I love to read, and I definitely want to spotlight some of the other books that I've read this past year and, this past year as well. So that's going to be it. It's pretty much kickoff now. Go Lions. Hopefully you guys do good on your bets. Please download the podcast, and I'll see you Tuesday. Not this Tuesday because it's pre-recorded, but the following Tuesday after that. I believe it's the 28th. We'll be back for a live show. So peace. See y'all. Remember, life is one big session. Play the cards to the best of your ability, and I promise, you'll come out ahead. Peace.